now, Jamaica, this is a series of discussion that Dr. Campbell will be having on this platform between now to the election. You hear what I'm saying? This is a series of discussion that Dr. Campbell will be having. Dr. Campbell, I wanted to respond to, you can play where Andrew said about him a do knockout punch and all people. I want to know, if me respond, producer play where Andrew talk about him and Muhammad Ali Day.
I know that as leader of the country, as leader of the political party, many men wish death upon me.
Many men wish death upon me.
As your leader, I am always ready. As your leader, I can absorb, like Muhammad Ali, all the punches. And sometimes I don't throw the punch, you know. Sometimes I just rope a dope. I just bounce with it. But don't worry. The knockout punches are going to come. Because we have worked too hard to build this country, to make the fake people come and take what we have built. We will work hard. We will show care. And we will get the people of Jamaica to support us and continue the good work of the Jamaica Labour Party. My Jamaica Labour Party family, the people of Jamaica, I love you. Thank you. God bless you. And go home safe.
What can go so?
Dr. Campbell, you, Mark Jefferson Golden, Angela Brownberg, and the PNP wishing death upon Andrew Holness?
No, man. Andrew is talking internally.
Oh, what you say, Dr. Campbell? Dr. Campbell, what you saying that the Labour... Repeat what you said, Dr. Campbell.
He's speaking internally. That's why he's saying he's not going to turn his back to them, right? He doesn't trust them with his back. He's speaking internally. And remember, a few years ago, you know, as a matter of fact, this is part of the reason why James and Darrell and O'Neill have me in court. Because I spoke about an incident that took place a few years ago when the country was told that there was a plot to assassinate the Prime Minister.
Yes, he said.
As a matter of fact, I expected this because when the story broke that Donald Trump was shot at, he walked onto the platform to that 50 Cent song, Many Men Wish Death Upon Me. It is the exact same thing. That
so it's a Trump card.
Yeah, man. It's a Trump card, that man. But he's internal him talking. The PNP does not wish any harm to Mr. Holness. What we want is for Mr. Holness to display decency, for Mr. Holness to stop lying to the country. He knew he was on an investigation and he lied to the country. Mr. Holness registered a company that was registered to deal with charitable activities, and then the thing was used to buy things for his own personal benefit. Ain't nobody wishing death on Mr. Holness. And for him to come with all of these things to try and shift the discussion away from the real issues. What we want is integrity, decency, accountability, transparency from the leader of the country, right? So if anybody wishes death on him, it's certainly not the People's National Party. Here we have a wounded leader of a party that our leaders overtaken, our party is leading. The longer the Labour Party holds on to Mr. Holness, the better it is for the People's National Party.
Repeat that, Dr. Campbell.
The longer the Labour Party holds on to Mr. Holness, the better it is for the PNP. So we do not wish death
on him. You are reversing the argument of the chairman of the Labour Party who said 2 years ago at their conference that as long as Marky G keep on as leader of the PNP, the Labour Party don't have to worry. So you're arguing now that as long as the Labour Party keeps Andrew Holness.
And I'm basing my argument on data. Remember, I'm evidence-based and data-driven. You know? So we did a poll and 81% of the people said that if you cannot be certified by the Integrity Commission, you should not run for office. The Prime Minister is one such person who cannot be certified. So 81%, 4 out of every 5 Jamaican does not think that Mr. Holness should be running for office. So him staying there, right, is not something that we necessarily have a problem with, right? We think that Mr. Holness really and truly should resign because of the breaches that have been committed. Here we have a prime minister that is taking the Integrity Commission to court and trying to strike down a provision that defines the offense of illicit enrichment. That is disgraceful to contemplate that you have a leader of a country that is taking the anti-corruption body to court and trying to strike down the provision in law that defines the offense of illicit enrichment. How can that be?
So what happened tomorrow when he names himself Minister of Finance? What you plan to do?
No, man. If the Prime Minister does that, then we will take it to the street.
Repeat that, Dr. Campbell.
If the Prime Minister does that, then we will have to take it to the street, because the Prime Minister was referred to the Tax Administration of Jamaica and to FID, which reports to the Ministry of Finance. If the Prime Minister, who was referred to those, now puts himself as the Minister of Finance, that will be staunchly rejected by the People's National Party.
So you're saying that Mark Jefferson Golding and Dr. Dayton Campbell, if tomorrow Andrew Holness stands in the Parliament or sends out a press release on the incubator, you are saying that you plan to take it to the streets?
It will be staunchly opposed if that is what he is proposing. Staunchly rejected, right? Because therein will be another example of a clear conflict of interest. Yes, it will be. And we are not going to allow this Prime Minister to reduce Jamaica to a state that we can't recognize our country. You know? Jamaica is not the pariah of the Caribbean, you know. This is not a banana republic. We are not going to allow Prime Minister Holness to bring down the reputation of Jamaica to the point where people look on us with disdain. We will not stand for it.
Interesting. So tomorrow should be an interesting day in the country, because as we gather Jamaica, they are having their last meeting in Pembroke Hall for Nigel Clark, where they might have bangarang and fight down there. So Nigel Clark is to demit office tonight. So tomorrow morning, we should have...
I think he will be in the Parliament tomorrow. No? I don't think he's demitting office tonight. I think he'll be in the Parliament tomorrow.
Well, because I heard the Prime Minister said something earlier today that in a few hours, he will have to say, Nigel, my very good friend. So I am of the view that, probably he'll be at Parliament to get his last hooray tomorrow. But it should be interesting in the next 24 to 48 hours, who is going to be named the Minister of Finance. And Dr. Dayton Campbell is making it clear, if Andrew Michael Holness names himself Minister of Finance, the People's National Party will be rejecting it. And in true Jamaica, it ought to be rejected on the basis of acts of conflict of interest. Don't you think so? But Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
You read and you interpret. You are very good at interpretation. Me and you might not see eye to eye plenty of time, but from time to time we see eye to eye. Dr. Campbell, the polls.
Yes.
The polls. You made a point a few minutes ago that if Andrew keeps on as leader of the JLP, it's in the interest of the PNP. So are you saying that if you go to the polls with Andrew as the leader, there's a high percentage chance the PNP can have a landslide election?
The writing is on the wall. I mean, you see, polls, it is true that polls are a snapshot in time. But when you look at several polls, you can see a trend that has developed.
Yes.
Now, 2 years ago, the People's National Party was at 18% to the JLP 31%.
Yes, only now I'm bangarang then.
Correct. And at that time, I didn't curse the polls, by the way. I accepted the interviews. Keep that slide up for me.
Yes.
Then we went on to September, and then the PNP moved up to 30% to the JLP 26%. And then A couple months later, after the local election, we're at 37% to the Labour Party, 29%, and on Sunday, 39% to their 30%. Now, for persons who are saying that the PNP doesn't have any message, that's not true. I just expressed some things for you for agriculture. Damien has for education, Dawes has for health. The leaders in his last 2 budget presentations, his conference presentation at the different meetings. The Labour Party support, for those who say it is because the JLP is failing, look at the Labour Party support. 31, 26, 29, 30. They really haven't lost any support. The difference is that...
It means that their base is steady. But your base is increasing.
Right. The PNP has been able in 2 years to increase by more than 100%. 18 times 2 is 36 and the PNP is at 39. The PNP has increased by more than 100% in 2 years. We have taken 21% out of those who were uncommitted in June 2022 to add to the PNP numbers. 21% of them, moving from 18 to 39%. So this is not a fluke.
Stay tuned for more PDTV news, evening highlights. Remember to show your support. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.